I have totally changed rooms from where I usually do my videos. I'm trying to make sure I don't get that blue cast on the page. So, Alice in Wonderland is what I'm working in. You can find it, you can find it cheap on Amazon right now. So, I had somebody ask me, what about circles? How do you color circles without them looking flat? So, we're going to be working right down here. And because I'm working in this room on my scrapbooking desk, this is the closest I can really get you to that page. Let me see if I go in at all. Okay, hold on. Wrong direction. Yep, that's good, but then can you still see what I'm working on? There. Yes, I should have taken care of that beforehand. Sorry. All right, I have my color swatches. I'm actually going to be using my Polychromos. And I've grabbed my color wheel. Sit down, make all the noise, do all the things. I have a timer set in the kitchen, so hopefully we won't go over. I want to tell you something real quick. I had this sent to me by Sargent, and it is one of my favorite pencil sharpeners, but it was getting dull. So I'm going to open it and empty it real quick. That's just how easy it is to empty. I went to the Dollar Tree and I got the cheap pencils, and you can unscrew these, screw in the others, and put it right back together, because the housing on this has really stayed put. It hasn't emptied all over the place. So anyway, just a little update on how that's doing. All right, when I go to do these cups, because somebody wanted to know how to do the actual circles that are on this page, don't look at just the circles. Look at the entire piece that they're on. Now, a lot of times I'll tell you, pick your colors, use your color wheel, use colors that go well together. Now, I know I don't want that cup in red because I have so much red right here already. So I'm also not going to use green because that's across from red, and that's the color I would use to put with it. Purple and yellow is right there. What do we have left? We have orange and blue. Let's do it. So, and that's really my thought process. Then I'm going to go over here and I am going to pick a blue for the, let's see, the coffee cup or the circles. I'm going to do the coffee cup in blue so that I don't have orange right next to my red. Does that make sense? I'm going to go ahead and do the blue first so that if I get in those little circles, I can just use the pencil sharpener to just pop that out. If I do the circles first and I get into the cup itself, then I've got to go around them. So I'm just thinking what's going to be easiest. So I am going to go to my blues, and if I can read these, let's see, number 143. Sorry, it's like I said, it's live, so you're going to get this whole process. That's Cobalt. Helps if I look at the name, makes it a little easier to find it. Should be right there. Okay, evidently my colors are out of order again. So let's pull this down and look. There it is, Cobalt. And then I'm going to pick either lighter or darker. I think I'm going to go lighter. I'm going to go this phthalo blue with 110. Yeah, these are out of order. And those really don't look like they should go together, but they're going to be okay. You know, it'll be all right. So let's move this over. I need to leave that there so you can see. Another thing, sharpening pencils. Hold your pencil in your non-dominant hand. Put your sharpener in your dominant hand. Turn the sharpener. That way you're not putting too much pressure on your pencil. And it's going to come out just fine. Now I have to hold this closer to me though so I can actually get it sharpened. All right, there's one. And I am going nice and sharp on these because I need to get down in some little areas. All right, so now the colors here, when you look at them, it really doesn't look like they're going to match. So I'm going to go back and look at these. I pulled 110 and 145. Not 145, did I? 143. There we go. These two. So the 143 is darker. So I'm going to put it to the side. It's darker. I'm going to start with this one. Now I have really been practicing on holding my pencil further back. It really keeps me from bearing down on it and getting my colors so harsh. All right, so a light coat. It also makes it hard to direct that pencil though, so I'm going to have to go a little bit closer in here. And I hope these are the circles that my friend was talking about. If not, we'll do another video on circles. But what we're going to do is look at the circles not just as individual circles, but as being circles on something. So we're going to look at the entire piece instead of just a circle. Does that make sense? It's like you can't look at one blade of grass, you have to look at your whole yard. Okay, so a light coat all over. Then I'm going to come in and put some extra just in the middle because this is my lightest color. It's going to be stronger through the middle. This is an object that's rounded on the sides, okay? Just like this pencil sharpener is rounded. It's darker here and here when I look at it straight on, and there's a shine area right up through the middle, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do here. So now I'm going to go to the 143 and start coming down the sides. Still light touch. If I do a light touch, it's going to take more layers, yes, but it's also going to be easier to blend. So I'm going to get really lighter and lighter as I come in. Lighter as I come into that middle, just kind of sneak up on it. I know, right? So like now I can start getting a little harder back in here and then lighter coming out. Harder down this edge, lighter as I come out. Now there may also be just a little bit of a shadow right here, but we're going to do that in a minute. Let's get both sides first. Let's make these coffee cups look like they're rounded. Okay, lighter as we come in. Darker on the edge, lighter as we come in. I used to have a student that I was teaching crochet class at Michael's way back in the day. And she wouldn't talk the whole class. And as soon as class was over, she would be talking to everybody, filling in everybody's conversations that they'd had and everything. And I finally asked her one day, I said, now, are you just that shy that you hold it all? Or what's up? And she said, well, I have to sit there and think when I'm doing my crochet over, under, around, and through. And I was like, oh, so you're actually saying the steps while you listen to everybody's conversation. And she goes, yeah, but I can't participate or I'll lose my steps. So when you're coloring, if you need to say, lighter as I go in, dark, getting lighter as I go in, after a while, it will be just secondhand and you'll just do it. But yeah, there's nothing that says can't talk to yourself while you color. I mean, look at me, I'm talking to myself. So now I'm going to come up here and you notice I'm going down closer on the tip of my pencil. All right. It's because I'm going to really put some pressure, and I'm doing those little tick marks that you've seen me do. And I'm going to come down this side, do some tick marks coming in from here, and then do a little bit of blending here. I know it takes a while. It really does. But if you're really wanting that blended look, I've seen people do videos and they're through something in about 5 minutes that would have taken me 10 or 15, but I just don't think it's as well blended. So it depends on the look you're after as to how long it's going to take you. But again, I reiterate what I always say, there are no coloring police. So if this is not the look you're after, don't even waste your time watching the video. Just go and do your thing. It's fine. We're all at different stages. Then I'm going to come in here and go ahead and do the bottom of this darker, the bottom of the handle, because it's down there where the light's not hitting. But then I'm going to come back with this lighter shade and go ahead and go over all that. Now you can see how that middle's lighter, but there's still a lot of white showing through. So I'm going to come in here and just blend. And a certain amount of white, sometimes I don't mind. It depends on what it is. Like on his face, I wanted his face white and his hands white, so I added the gray. But then I went ahead and colored everything white. I didn't just leave the paper show through. Now, I'm sure it's probably showing through some, but not like it was. So, yeah, there's a time for white and a time to really get rid of all of it. I tried to get rid of most of it in his hair. I will still go over his hat. I don't think that's even in I don't think that's in screen. Maybe part of it is. I will probably go over his hat with a black felt tip that I know won't go through the paper, but I did it in black first so that when I go over it, it won't be streaky. Now, I can come back in here again with this blue, the darker one, and go darker down these sides again. There's still tooth in that paper, and I am going to have to clean up these circles because there are little bits of blue in some of them. And if I don't clean them up and just do the orange next, they're going to look brown. They're going to look dirty, and I don't want that. But see, I can come in here and add this blue. I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera. I know I'm casting a shadow. I've got to figure out a setup to where I can color and y'all can see without me having shadows all over the place. There. You see, I'm pretty happy with that. So now then I'm going to take my eraser. Now I can use it as a regular eraser, or I can use it as the battery operated. I'm going to battery operate. And I just kind of hit at the spots. That way I can kind of see what I'm doing. And there's no way for you to show me, for me to show you is what I mean. Whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. there's no way for me to actually show you any better what I'm doing with this eraser. I'm just going in and getting the blue out of there. Okay, so there's that. Now the other thing I'm going to do, and yeah, I just started out hard to start with, a lot of pressure, because I know I want all of that dark, and then I'll get light up here around the edge. So down inside, you've looked down inside a cup before, and it gets darker as you go down in there, and there's a shadow from that spoon, so I just put the shadow on both sides. All right, then I'll come back with the lighter one. I hope I don't use my whole 30 minutes just doing this one cup. But if I do, I do. You know what I'm saying? It'll be one fantastic looking cup. All right. So there's that. I'm going to put these up. Then next, we're going to go flip through and find some oranges. And no, I'm not talking about the fruit. I'm talking about the pencils. Now, that orange is close to like that number 4. I mean the orange, the blue. So when I go over to my orange, I want something that's close to that number 4. See, if I turn this like this, across from this blue is this orange. Okay, see the black arrows? That's how you use this. So I'm going to take this then and my swatches, and I'm going to look and see which orange I want. It's another reason I love doing swatches. And these are 2 different size swatches. This is my original polychromos, and then the bigger ones are the ones I just added on. Or did I say that backwards? Anyway, one of the sets is my originals, so I know I've got 2 of some of these colors. And I really should know which ones were original. The large ones were original because that's where I put my How I Make Gold. So the larger ones are the ones that I've got 2 of everything. All right, let's go back and look for that orange. Here we go. So I know it's a red, but it's a deep, deep orange also. And for what I'm doing, I really think I need like 3 shades. And this is when I'm going to go into some of my browns too. So what my brain is saying is, if it's going to wrap around like this did, these circles are going to have like brown and orange, and these are going to have like almost yellow orange. Does that make sense? So these are in the front. So I'm going to get like this bright orange, 111, and then this 115, and if you've got my color conversion sheets, you can look and see if there's color conversions for whatever pencils you have. I don't know off the top of my head. There should be something kind of close though that you can use, just that's close. So I'm doing the 115 for the darkest on those center ones. So now what I want to do is jump over here to the 117. And I know this is a little confusing, but it's going to get better, I promise you. The 117. And then I'm going to jump back here, and I may or may not even use this, but I'm going to grab this, yeah, I think the 188. And on that, it's guesswork. I really am not sure. I'm just guessing on what's going to really be good for me by the time I get to there. So there's those. Move these out of the way. All right, so here they are in color order. So down through the middle, I am going to use this brightest color. All right, and I can already tell you it's turning a little brown from where I didn't get all that blue out of there. So I've just got to go back in there and clean that up a little. It's so worth it to spend the extra time cleaning the first time, so you don't have to do what I just did. All right, so I'm putting this brightest color right here in the middle. All right, and that's really the only place I'm going to use that. Now I'm going to go to the next color and do the outsides of this just a bit. And then I lied. I'm going to come back in and use this just to make sure they're blended. Okay? Then that next color I picked, which was the 115, I did the outsides. Then I'm going to do this side. Okay? And then get lighter as I go over. Then I'm going to go to the next one, which was 117. Well, if I do work in this room for videos, I've got to open the vent. My bad. All right, so then I'm blending those. So let's get the next lighter shade, or the one that was the lightest out of those two, and blend. And then I'm going to take that number 117 and I'm going to do just the top of that circle, just the top of this circle, because remember we shaded down here, and then these are really close to the side. So I'm going to come over and do this. I'm going to put a little bit more on that edge because I pulled like a brownish color. Okay, and I'm going to put that brownish color, which is 186, and I need to sharpen real quick because this is a little space. I want to make sure that the tools I'm using are in the best possible shape to get good results. Okay, so now I'm putting that darkest color on that edge and then across here. Now I'll come back in with the orange that I used on that and blend those. Can you see how it's lighter in the front and it gets darker as it goes around? So when you're doing dots, that's more or less what you're going to want to do. Up here, the shapes on his hat, I think I'm in the frame now. I did the darker kind of around the outside and along the bottom of the other shapes, and then got lighter just so they don't look flat. On his tie, I did, let me grab a different pencil. Here we go. On his tie, I got darker here and got lighter in this area. Here, I did darker under each ruffle. Okay? Each ruffle is a little bit darker. On this cup right here, am I in? I'm in, good. On that cup, or the pitcher rather, I did dark down the sides and light in the middle. I did dark down here, but light here because there's nothing really in the way here. So the light may be hitting that. I just wrote on my page. Easy, easy. Okay. With the coffee cups, Mad Hatter's sitting right next to him, so that might be casting the shadow. That's why we've got shadow on both sides rounded, and here rounded. This might be rounded, but there's nothing casting a shadow here. All right, on this one, right here, I did dark on both sides, light down through the middle. The cake, I did dark under each one of these little layers that are dripping. And then I did a little bit of dark under the strawberries. You've seen me do videos on how to do gold. I just wanted to spruce this up a little, so I put the light here, okay, because it's on the top. Then this, you have to look at the shape. Okay, this shape. If this is standing straight up and down and the light's coming down, the light's going to hit more here in the middle because this is sticking out. It's not going to be as light here or as light down here. Does that make sense? This is actually sticking out some, so that's where the light's going to hit. So that's what I've done on here. This is curved. This is sticking out. This is where the light's going to hit. And I actually could have brought that light down just a little further, but I wanted to be able to get the darks in. Then over here, I've got the light right through here, and then the dark, and the dark's coming around. I started with his ears in pink, and then I just didn't like it. And so I looked up a picture online of Mad Hatter's, not Mad Hatter, of rabbit's ears. And it did show them in more of a red burgundy. So I went with this, and I just like it so much better. Now here's circles again. Oh, I just now realized I did his bow tie in purple and did Mad Hatter's in purple. And that's fine. But instead of doing yellow again in the inside, I will do something different over here. I'm just not real sure yet what. And it says yellow is going to be my best bet across from my purple on the color wheel. But, you know, rules are to be broken. And this, again, is coloring. So there are no coloring police. There's no dyed in the wool. Got to do it this way. So I think what I'm actually going to do is pick another color next to purple. So what if I go that bright teal? Boy, that would be crazy. Either that or the blue. I like the, not teal, the fuchsia. I do like that better. So hopefully I am not going to time out. I'm not going to worry about putting those up. I'm going to come in here to my colors. My fuchsia's back here with my purples. Make sure we're in frame. Sorry, I am sitting down and the camera is like half a foot above me. So to actually see anything, I have to go up and look. So here's all my pinks and stuff. So I'm actually, I think I'm going to use 129 and 125. If I can put my hands on those fast enough. 129, 125. And I'm going to scratch my chair. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see how much time we have left. We have like a minute or two. All right. So sharpening really quickly. And then we're going to do the same thing with his tie, kind of, as what we did with the coffee cup. I'm going to look at where those dots are in the realm of the rest of the tie. The tie is darker here, here, and here. So I know I'm going to be lighter here. I'm going to be lighter here. There's nothing really blocking that circle. I'm just going to do it totally that color. Here I'm going to do the bottom half. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do just the top area because it's darker on the bottom. I'm going to do the right hand side because it'll be darker on the left. Just the bottom, it'll be darker on the top. just the right hand side, it's going to be darker on the left. The top, it'll be darker on the bottom. Did that make sense? So again, I'm looking at where the other parts are dark on the tie and going to adjust accordingly. And then I'm going to start light. I don't want to be too dark all at once. And that one gets skipped. This one's going to get done. This one will be at the top where his face overhangs and casts just a little bit of a shadow. This one's on the side where that big bow area is. And under his face. Down the side where it's curved around. And at the bottom where it's curved around. Then I can come back in with my lighter shade and use that lighter shade for blending. I'm just going to touch everything up at this point. Okay, so my kitchen timer should be beeping off anytime. I am going to take the camera down, so don't get too dizzy on me here. But I want you to be able to see. Can you see there is just a touch darker at those outer edges? And yeah, I still have a lot of white peeking through on his jacket. So, and then over here, see how I talked about the outside edges of that? And on those hearts, I just shaded the bottom half. No rhyme or reason on that. Let's see the cup. See, there that is. The dots are lighter down through the middle, and then they got darker as we went to the outside. All right, that's it. I will talk to y'all later. Have fun. Bye.